Okay, hello and good evening, everybody. 21st Century Jedi here, and we are going to do a little something different tonight. So, as the stream title suggested, I hope you all got that. Got a couple changes here today. We're going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. Um, we're going to do World of Warships tonight. I had mentioned I wanted to do this in one of the previous streams, and I've got the gotten everything kind of basically to work out with this, so it looks like we're going to be good to go. So I'm just checking my sound levels right now. So it looks like we're not getting the sound from the game. So let's make sure I get that right. Let's go ahead and add that in there just in case. Audio output. Just throwing this together here. Bear with me. Let's see. We'll have to put this on this. Okay. So it looks like we've got that working. Turn this down just a tiny bit. So we've got, let's take it down a decibel here, just so it's not overriding me. All right. So I hope everybody's doing well this evening. I'm back from holiday, and it's taken me a little while to kind of get back into the groove of things, but we're here. We are going to beat the Sunday evening blues, I hope, because I know I have to go back to work tomorrow. I know a lot of other people out there have to go back to work. It's never fun, never pleasant sometimes, unless there's something really looking forward to at work, which is great. But, so there's been a couple things that I wanted to point out here. Number one, like I said, we're going to do World of Warships tonight. This will be, we're going to do this tonight. If it's a popular feature, we might continue to go to it more and more. We'll see how this goes. The other couple of things I want to point out, number one, before I forget, the last stream I did for Diablo 2 Resurrected did not save like I thought it would. So I don't have the stream for that one. So what I suspect I might do is either I'll try and set up another stream of Diablo 2 Resurrected where I start from the beginning, or I'll just kind of pick up where I left off on that last character and just try and continue on with the Avenger-type Paladin solo. A lot of that will depend on if I get additional players to play with me, or if it's just, hey, I just want to try something different and just go solo with it. So that's unfortunate that I lost the stream, but it's okay. We'll just keep plodding along. What else? Also in the startup, if you happen to catch our starting screen now, we have something new there. I kind of changed the look of that a little bit. One of the many graphics artists and designers who are following me, I commissioned that person to do a character sketch for what would be a 21st Century Jedi, who was also involved with a lot of retro gaming and stuff. And the end result, of course, was what you saw on the starting screen. I'm not going to bring it back up at the moment here, but I will continue to keep that on display. Her name, let me get my, I want to make sure I get her name and notified, make sure I get this right here. So she goes by the name of Nicole Rory. I will type in the chat her Twitter handle, so everybody can have that. Just put it up in here. Hey Foxfire, good to hear from you, man. I'll turn the game sound down a little bit more. Let's try doing something like this. Let's see how that is, if that's any better. Let's see where we're at now. All right, so I'm still competing with it a little bit. I want to try and See, I can't boost mine up any further, so I'm going to keep this. Let's bring it down to -5. All right, so good to hear you again, Foxfire. All right, so we're going to continue to tweak that a little bit. Also, I noticed that my chat, all right, it seems to be working now. That's good. All right, so apologies for a little bit of the jankiness tonight, but I think we're doing all right with this. We're getting everything worked out. So yes, the @ that I put in there in the stream chat is her Twitter handle. She goes by Nicole Rory. She did the character sketch that I commissioned out in the starting screen. I will also include it into the ending screen as well. I don't see how I'm going to be able to fit it into the real estate of the current layout of the gaming, but who knows? Maybe I'll come up with something there. So yeah, that's the new character sketch, and I think it came out pretty good. I like the way that she did the rainbow coloring of the lightsaber. I love the retro shades that she put on the Jedi, because it does give that nod to the retro styling of the 80s, which I'm most accustomed to and most akin to. So yeah, I thought that came out very nicely, and it'll be a feature of our channel until maybe we move on and get another character commission done. Anyway, I do want to point out that I'm just taking a look at my Twitter profile right now, just because I'm just curious about this. Come on, show it to me. Can't see my stats yet. Hold on. So I have 201 followers on this account for my stream. I have to say, out of that, it's probably 199 of those followers are all graphics artists and graphic designers. I know that I tried to be very supportive of the graphic community and try to be very supportive of everybody in terms of I love supporting artists and their work, but the problem is that when you get 200 of them roughly who they follow you on Twitter, and then suddenly they don't care about the stream, they just want to try and sell you something. Basically, that's really what they follow you for. And for most of them, there are some exceptions. I will point out there are some exceptions. For most of them, though, you never hear from them again. It's all a transaction to them, which is unfortunate. Which is why one of the many reasons I think I'm going to leave the Twitter platform, at least on this, on the channel and stuff. And I'll probably move to another social media platform, or I'll just keep it on Discord. And if anybody needs to reach me, or if I need to put out any information about the channel or about our streams, I'll just use Discord to do it. If people want to get those notifications, easy to do. If you have Discord, you just get the notifications from when I send it out, and that's that. It's an easier and more direct way to reach my true following, which is within the channel here, and I'm not dealing with constant stream and barrage of the graphics artists and other people who are just trying to sell me something. I hate to say it that way. I really do. I want to support all the artists. And like I said, it's not everybody. There are some artists out there who truly care, who I've had conversations with, and they're really cool people. So, again, it's unfortunate, but I'm sorry. Some people just kind of ruin it for everybody, when you follow somebody on a social media platform, you probably should go beyond this, the whole, hey, I want to sell you something. Try and change it into something like, hey, it's cool, how you doing? Nice to meet you, thanks for the follow. And then actually do something about it. Like, if you're going to follow me, or if you're going to follow another streamer, go check out the actual stream instead of, hey, I can offer you suggestions on how you can enhance your stream without actually even looking at it, That's the disingenuousness of it all that kind of turns me off a little bit. But regardless, I don't want to focus on the negative tonight. So what I will do tonight is I will focus on doing the World of Warships here. This is a game that I've been playing, and I just took a look at this. I've actually been playing this for 7 years. almost from the beginning, not quite from the early days there, but I remember the version number was like at least 0.4, 0.5, I think. Might have been even earlier than that. And now we're at 12 something, I think. But this is World of Warships, as you can see here. And what can I tell you about it? Well, it's been out for at least 7 or 8 years, I think. It's still going strong. There's still a good, strong community with the game itself. And it's all about taking warships and fighting, in, matchups, whether it's against computer AI players or other, human players. All the warship matchups are typically from the World War I or World War II era. So we're dealing with mostly gunfires and torpedoes, gun shells. We're not dealing with missiles. We're not dealing with, jet fighters or anything like that. Most of the stuff is just from the World War I, World War II era, a little bit beyond that too. But again, we're not dealing with like cruise missiles or anything like that. So what's cool about this game? So one of the key selling points, in my opinion, is the visual effects, or the eye candy, as I like to call it. When you look at the detail involved with the ships, and I'm looking at one of my favorite ships right now, just the amount of detail that they put into the 3D modeling, the paneling or the teak decking that you can see on the decks. You can see all the things like the little life preservers and portholes, and your range finders, your secondary weapons, your primary weapons, even things like rust stains on the sides of the ship and stuff. This is all little detail that sometimes it gets overlooked when you're just playing the game, but it really, really enhances the overall immersion level and immersion factor into this game. The other cool aspect of it that I like is that really it's free to play. It doesn't cost you anything to play this game as is. If you want to pay money to get things in the game, and I don't believe this is a pay-to-win game, although it has been a while since I've played, you can play and enjoy and have fun in this game without shelling out a lot of money. There are certain aspects that used to be very demanding, where you would need to shell out a little bit of money to get through certain aspects of the game. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, but in general, if you want to just go out, make an account on wargaming.net, download their launcher and download the game, you can do all that for free and just have fun with it. Just start working your way through the tech trees, or pick a particular nation that you want to work on to build their ships from that era, and away you go. So a couple of the highlights. The gameplay itself, very good. They do a lot of work to try and keep things balanced. Again, it's been a while since I've played, so I can't attest to how the current state of the game is balanced or not. I did try a couple games earlier today with, again, my favorite ship here, Bismarck. It seemed like it played just like it did before, which was over a year ago, I think it was, that I played. So yeah, I do think they work hard on the balance, the game balance, the gameplay. They're constantly working on sound and visual effects, improving them, tweaking them, making them better, making them perform better. And they're always adding new ships, or adding different styles of gameplay, different ways to play the game, different looks for the ship, different commanders that you can have for your ships, and so on. So there's a lot to go into this, to unpack. So what we will do is I'll start with kind of like a basic battle and give everybody kind of the rundown of how we're playing it, and we'll go through there. So like I said, I've been playing a while, so I have my favorite ship here, which is Bismarck, and it's my favorite for a number of different reasons. Growing up as a kid, I remember my dad used to play the old Johnny Horton song, which was called "Sink the Bismarck," and it was one of those old country western type songs from, I think, the 60s or 70s. And that was, as I was a kid, I was growing up. We would hear that on the 8-track player a lot, you know. So it was cool to, I mean, being that as my only exposure to music at the time, or one of the limited exposures to music, that kind of grew on me and stuck with me. And then I wanted to learn more about the ship. Like, why was there a song about this particular ship? So I did find in my local school library a book called The Sinking of the Bismarck by William L. Shirer, who is a very noted historian from World War II. He was in Germany when Hitler rose to power, and he actually wrote a number of different books, one of which is The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Again, another great read if anybody's interested in seeing how the Nazis rose to power and how they fell from it. And it's interesting to see a lot of the parallels if you look for them, you can see them today in modern times, based on how they did things and some of the techniques they used to try and rise to power and stuff. And again, to be clear, I'm not trying to glorify the Nazis. I'm not trying to glorify Hitler or anything like that, even though I'm mentioning the names. No, okay, let's get that clear. Not glorifying Nazis or anything like that. The ship itself, Bismarck, I still like it. I've had such a fascination with this ship, probably because of the story behind it and the nature of its maiden voyage and the ultimate result of it, and why it was so important for everybody in the world, specifically the Allies, to try and hunt this ship down and sink it. So that was my fascination with Bismarck. Now, within the game here itself, it's a Tier 8 battleship, and if you're not familiar with this, I'll go into the tech tree. There are 10 tiers of ships that you can do, based on the nation and based on the type of ship too as well. So on my left here we have battleships, right? We have cruisers, destroyers, then we have submarines, and then we have aircraft carriers. Now, admittedly, I haven't done anything with submarines, so I'm going to stay out of that type of gameplay tonight. But when we go down the battleship tree, you'll see there are two branches here. Which nation is my favorite? Hey, Zaldra, good to see you again, man. Which nation is my favorite? In the game, as you can see here, I've unlocked a lot of the German stuff, so I think Germany is kind of like my favorite by an edge, by just maybe a little bit. I do like USA. I have a lot of stuff unlocked for them as well. Japan, I've tried to get into a little bit. I'm trying to get Yamato unlocked as well. UK, obviously, they've got a gigantic history of shipping and ships. So there's a lot I've been trying to unlock there too. And France. France and Italy are also, they have some nice things there too. Now, let me go back and qualify what I was just saying there. In terms of my favorite nation, I think a lot of it depends on the aesthetic look of the ships. So when I look at a ship, for me, it's mostly about the battleships. I love playing the battleship types. Not a huge fan of cruisers and destroyers, but I do play them, and I will do that from time to time. He says, "Okay, Schultz, LOL." I see nothing. Okay, but when you look at the ships themselves, right? Let's go back to port and let's go and look. So when I look at Bismarck, right? There's something for me personally about the line of the ship. When I look at this thing in profile, and it's a nice, graceful slope up to the bridge and the foremast here, and then a nice graceful slope down to the main turrets in the front and down to the bow, which you can see over to here. And then when you look at it over top like this, you can I can't really zoom out, unfortunately, but the camera angles are a bit limited. But when you look at the ship itself, like Bismarck here, it's a very convex lens look to it. It's very, very, almost perfect convex style, right? If I were to take a look at something like, well, I'm gonna pick on Nelson here. So for anyone who's a Nelson fan, my apologies, but I look at Nelson and I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's a very effective ship. Um, there's a lot of a good argument to be had about having all your guns forward when you're going into battle. That's more guns you can bear on the enemy versus, say, Bismarck, where you have 4 in the front, 4 in the rear. However, when I look at the style of this, I'm like, good night. That just looks like a freighter or something. It's just, it's all over the place to me. It's not the prettiest ship. It's not the fastest ship, but it is an effective ship, and it was one of the ships that did sink Bismarck. Was Rodney, the sister to Nelson. King George V, another one that was in the battle. That was in the last battle against Bismarck. It's, to me, I mean, it looks like a nice battleship. Again, it has 6 guns forward, 4 aft. So now you've got 6 going forward against the enemy, against the 4 of Bismarck. So again, it's tactically speaking, it's good, and it can hold its own, I think, against Bismarck. But style-wise, man, this is okay. I look at Richelieu, and I like the style of this one. I think it's got kind of a futuristic edge to it. It's definitely a fast ship. I do like the line overall to it. It does have that nice slope that I like. That makes it almost symmetrical, similar to Bismarck. So I kind of dig this style. And again, it has the all guns forward, so that's a nice design there. The Italians. Okay, I don't know why I put this camo on there. It was a long time ago. This is a similar layout to Bismarck. It kind of has that sloping line to it, so I kind of dig this too. It's very, very similar, I think, in terms of shape. So I kind of dig the style of this. What else? When I look at let's look at the Iowa class. Iowa, I do like. It's got 6 forward, 3 back, and it's neat. I'm having visited a couple of these ships in real life. I can have an affinity to these, and of course, being from the U.S., that's the other aspect of it. Not as stylish to me as the Bismarck, though. So, I mean, it's again still got those lines, but they're a little bit more drastic, and the shape of it is really much straighter as opposed to having that graceful curve to it. Same thing for the Massachusetts. It's got that. It's a very drastic slope as opposed to the longer lines that you see in like the German or the Italian battleships. So, and what's the last one? The Japanese. So I don't have Yamato yet. That thing is just a massive battle wagon. I have Izumo, which is very similar to Rodney and Nelson. It's not really my style. It's very flat, very squarish almost. I do have Heisen, which is a tier 9. This was one of those contest ones where you had to kind of work your way and grind your way through them, I think. But this was one that you could build, I think, which we'll get to in a little bit. Amagi, kind of the same vein. They're cool. They're interesting. This Amagi has a nice, graceful slope to it. I don't know. Just aesthetically speaking, I kind of like the Germans and the Americans a little bit, and the French. British and the Japanese, not so much. So, all right. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. Let's see. You have the Fuso, Saldra? Okay, cool. So the Fuso. What is your favorite? Are you a favor of the Japanese ships? Let's see. I do have Fuso here somewhere, I think, or I might have sold it. Nagato is what I have. So that's Nagato. I have the Congos, the ARPs. Congos are interesting. They aren't the best ships for Tier 5, but they are fast. And if you're good with them, you can do a lot of damage with them. So I don't have the regular ones. Japanese tech tree is what I play mostly, and Russian. Interesting. Okay. So I do have the Tier 6 Ismail from the Russian fleet. Russian never really got to me. I never really got a huge interest in them, although they're destroyers and cruisers, I think. What do I have of theirs that remind me? So I don't have any cruisers of theirs. They're destroy. Oh, I have the Kirov. I'm sorry. The Ganevny and the Minsk are interesting for the Russian destroyers, and obviously with the Japanese destroyers, they're just, bonkers. I've got the Akazuki, the Shiratsuyu. So yeah, those are fun as well. So let's go ahead and jump on into this, and then I'll come back and forth with some of the details of the game. So let's go and get our Bismarck. And we're just going to do a quick co-op battle. So, let's see. So one thing I would like to point out for anybody who is interested in this, there are still museums available for you to visit, mostly in the U.S., but they are in other countries as well, where you can go and visit some of these ships that are in this game. For example, the USS Iowa, the USS Massachusetts, what else is available? The Mikasa's out there still. The HMS Belfast is out there. There are a number of ships that are still there, mostly in the U.S. again. There's a lot of them in the U.S. that are still as museum ships. Really cool to spend a day on them and visit them. So, if you get that chance, I do recommend doing that. So I gotta watch my audio here, because I feel like I might be getting drowned out. Just want to bring that up so I can see it here. I really can't. Alright, so there we go. I've got my audio and the game audio.
Look, everyone.
Okay, very good. Alright.
Awaiting instructions.
So here we are. WASD to move. Basically, I've pushed it full throttle right now to go forward. Turn left, turn right. Sends you left and right rudder. So the thing to notice about for anybody who's never played this game before, it's a ship. So it's not going to move fast, right? It takes time for it to build up speed. It takes time for it to slow down. It takes time for it to turn, okay? So it's not one of your twitchy games. It's a plodding along, and you're actually trying to think and feel your way through. So the object of this one is to defeat the other fleet, which is the orange icons at the very top of my screen. And you'll see them on the game map here as we're looking at my screen. You can see I've got one that's lined up here. It's the Kronstadt. These are all AI computer enemies that we're looking at here. The circles on my lower right map, if you can see those, there's an A, B, and C there. Those are zones that we were trying to capture. If we capture zones and get to 1,000 points, which is shown at the top of my screen here, then we can win the game. So currently they are capturing Area C, and we just can't have that.
Enemy battleship detected. Enemy cruiser sighted.
So we're going to line up on this Kronstadt. See, I probably missed him. Alright, I got one over penetration, one ricochet. Not bad, not bad. Now my secondaries are starting to kick in. And we got some stuff right in front of us here, so let's go ahead and focus on those. I've got an Aegir and a Tago Black cutting right in front of me. So we better help out our buddies here. So, a note about tactics with this game. For those who are not familiar with it. When it comes to surviving, someone shooting at you and stuff. The best thing you can do is to either go in bow in or running away stern. Okay? So when they're shooting at you, typically what that means is you see the shots go in, but they won't necessarily penetrate all the way through. And the reason for that is your armor is geared in such a way so that ballistically speaking, that they're going to ricochet off because they're going through more armor. My friend just torpedoed that ship, so that's good. So we're going to go ahead and shoot that. I'm going to set this one to do secondary fire, and I'm going to set the primary against the Kansas here. So I'm going to wait until I get like right alongside this thing if I can. I'm just going to let all my barrels out. When you try to shoot these things, you want to try and shoot the right near the water line, because that is where you can hit their citadel. And I have gotten hit here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down, max starboard rudder, trying to get my turn here. I'm going to do a repair. Hit the buffalo, line up the shot. Now, another factor to remember too is when you're in a battleship and you're going against a cruiser, it's not a fair fight. It's, your battleship has 14, 15, 16, 18-inch guns, which are really, really good. You gotta get more of them.
Our victory is in sight.
Whereas the cruisers only have 8-inch guns, and they're typically only armored up against what you're expected to go against. We're gonna throw this thing in reverse here, beach it. Let's go find another shot here. Looks like they're gonna get torpedoed.
Victory is in sight.
Yeah, there's only one left here. We're not going to hit him. I could probably throw secondaries at him. He isn't dead yet. Jeez. So right now, my secondary guns are shooting at this, and my secondary guns have a range of about almost 11 kilometers. Can't see this guy so well. My secondary's pushing off. I'm trying to stay away from the shore. There we go. We got the kill. Cool. Battles against the AI obviously are not very difficult. I think my win rate's something like ungodly 97% or something like that, which in the play of this game is probably terrible, believe it or not. Usually when you go against the AI, you're going to come up with a win because they're not that smart. So let's do one more battle here, and then we'll try something different here. So when you're going about this game and you're playing it and you're starting off with it, you want to learn the tactics, of course, and you want to try and learn how to play and get good, as they say. But it's also a grind, which is one of the negatives that I see about this game, is that a lot of the stuff to do in this game requires a grind of some sort. And what I mean by a grind is it involves you playing the game a lot, playing a lot of battles, trying to gain experience, or the experience in the game, to level yourself up to get these things that they are dangling in front of you like carrots.
Action stations.
So it is a grindy type game for those who are not familiar with it. But it is possible for you to go and level up and do things in this game without having to throw a lot of money at it. So without putting any money into this game, you can get this ship, this Tier 8 battleship. It requires you to start from Tier 1, the German tech, work your way up through, I think, the cruisers first, and then, like, once you get to Tier 3, you can branch out to the battleships and start leveling up. You buy the ships with coins, I think it is. When you earn coins after every battle, of course, you earn experience after every battle. As you continue to do that, you get more of that stuff that you can use to purchase things, to purchase your commanders, purchase different tech on the trees, and purchase the actual ships. So it is a free-to-play game, and it is grindy, but it is fun too. And I mentioned before about the graphic detail here. I mean, just looking at the ship as it plows through the water like this at 31 knots, it's just an impressive sight to me. Just the water dynamics, the lighting, the shadows, everything about this is really good eye candy to me, in my opinion. Okay, this little exclamation point on my screen here is a detection thing. What that means is I've been detected. Every there's a destroyer right over there. Look at that. So we're gonna let the secondaries take care of it while I get away from it. Turn on hydroacoustic search. What this does is it allows me to detect torpedoes if they're shot at me. And when that happens, I'll see them in the water quicker, which will allow me to take evasive actions. But again, the ship moves slowly, so we have to be on terms with this. I didn't switch over. You can switch your gun type from armor-piercing shells to high-explosive shells, which are more effective against destroyers. But I'm a little bit lazy on that. I figure I'll just let the AP shells go. There he goes.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
We're gonna let this guy. This is the New Orleans. Not gonna lie, that's pretty satisfying when you can do that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and capture this circle. And I'm looking on the mini-map now. It looks like we're up 3 ships. There's a bunch of them coming through the middle, which is interesting. Looks like we lost a teammate there. So we're gonna go to the middle here and see if we can do something about this. I found that the battleships for the USA for Tier 4 or 5 are sucky and slow compared to other nations. Zaldra, you speak truth, my friend. You absolutely are speaking truth. From what I remember, and again, things have changed probably since the last I played, but from what I remember, there's a lot of stuff.
Our victory is in sight.
Looks like we have a Tirpitz in the middle here, going against the Cleveland, and I don't know if they're getting grounded or whatnot, but it's hard to tell. We're gonna go over here just to cover. From what I remember of the U.S. ships, Tier 4-5, right? Tier 4, I think, is the Wyoming for the battleship, and Tier 5 is the New York. The New York is actually not a bad ship for Tier 5, although it's not a Congo, so you're going to be like stuck on the slow end of that in terms of speed. But it is very durable, and its AA anti-aircraft guns for that tier are pretty good. Tier 6, let's see, you said, I tried grinding for the New Mexico and just gave up. I want to be honest with you, try and pick up the grind again for New Mexico. I liked it. What has it got, like 12, 14-inch guns or something like that? I enjoyed the New Mexico. In fact, you know what? I'll switch over to New Mexico now so you can see it. I enjoyed playing the Tier 6 New Mexico when I was doing the grind. Tier 7 Colorado, no good, no fun. Okay, and let's go ahead and do a little demonstration of that. So let's go to our U.S. ships. Do I have it? I should still have New Mexico. So here's the New Mexico. And just to give everybody at home a look at this, it is. There's a couple things you can do on this, so that in case you're not aware. So you can actually look at things like your armor layout, right? So you can see these color-coded zones, which show you, as you put your mouse over it, you can see how much armor your ship has, right? Anywhere from the casemate armor, which is 343 millimeters, to torpedo protection, to the gun mount side plate, the front plate thickness and stuff. And you can see where the armor is on your ship, as well as on other ships if you have them. You can actually use these to kind of determine, hey, if I need to find a weakness against the New Mexico, where do I need to shoot, right? You can turn these on or off, so you can see like specific pieces of armor. Like if you want to just look at the Citadel armor, right? You can focus on that. Say, well, the Citadel deck is 70 millimeters, and the armored deck slope is 51. Doesn't include the belt, but you know that's what you need to do to get through their Citadel. You can also look at other stats of the ship. You can look at your hit points, of course, torpedo protection. What's your main battery look like? These are 356 millimeter guns. There are 12 of them, 4x3. So they are 14-inch guns. And you know, with this type of layout, being 6 forward, 6 aft, is pretty balanced. You can also see what your secondaries and you know, what type of secondary battery you have. You can see what you can use for an airstrike, your AA defense, and your maneuverability, like how fast are you, how quickly you can turn, right? So all of this is available to you to look at for any ship that you have. I don't know if you can do it for ships you don't have. We can play around with that, but one of the other things I wanted to point out, though, is as you're going through this grind, right? Let's contract all these real quick. As you're going through the grind, you can enhance your ships. So you know, when you start off with the New Mexico at a tier 6, it costs you so much to purchase it, right? And you have to have the experience to get to that tier. But then you have options here. You have your 356 millimeter guns, which you can't really do much with that. You can change the hull, which indicates something like a refit that it went through historically. And in some cases, you actually get more hit points, right? Or you get more or less secondary gun turrets, more AA, and it shows you statistically, like from the rating levels, like does this make you more survivable? Does this increase your AA defense? Does this increase your maneuverability, right? Same thing with, you know, this one. I've got this fully upgraded here, but my Mark 6 Mod 1 fire control system, right? This increases my firing range out further, right? The propulsion plant, if you refit this, right? Previously, my max speed was 19.4 knots. With this now, I'm at 22.1 knots, okay? So you can upgrade your ship. You can even upgrade some of these things. You can add these things called signals, which will also enhance your ship a little bit. For example, I've got the Sierra Mike signal, which when you mount that, it actually increases your speed of your ship by 5%. Okay, just by adding this flag on there. Now these flags, these signals here, are consumables, meaning you go into battle, you use it. So I've got 236 available. When I go into battle and use one, it'll be at 235. You can also do some exterior things like change your camouflage around. You can change the flags that you're flying, which some of them actually give you, benefits, or they used to at least. They used to be that this flag used to give you like 5% XP and stuff, but it looks like they got rid of that. So we have some expendable camouflage. I have permanent stuff. What's that look like? I'm curious. Yeah. We got patches. Let's go with something that's different here. Ooh, that's stripey. This looks pretty navally. I like this one. Historical note for anybody who's checking that out. Historically speaking, this is what the navies did in World War II, is they would paint their schemes differently depending on what they were trying to achieve. when you try to find and spot the ship out, miles away on the ocean surface, it's difficult sometimes to determine where the front of the ship is and where the rear is. It's not clear. Like, you see it up front like this up close, and it's clear. There's the bow and there's the stern. But when you see this camo pattern on there and you're trying to look at it through binoculars miles away, this camo pattern actually factors into it. So now you're not sure what you're looking at. Are you looking at a cruiser, a destroyer, a transport ship? Who knows, right? So it gives you the ability, this camo pattern, to kind of disguise your ship a little bit, historically, that is. So we'll go in and try out the New Mexico. And again, Zaldara, I like the New Mexico because of all the guns, and speed-wise, it's on a par with the other ships, at least battleships in that tier 6. Once you start getting to tier 7, that's where it becomes tough, and the primary problem is speed. The American standard ships are slow. And that's the biggest complaint, and that's what they were. Historically speaking, these were slow ships. They were not frontline ships.
General quarters.
So we'll go ahead and get the old girl up to speed here.
Many thanks.
And again, talk about detail. I just love seeing little stuff like this. You're looking at a little hamlet on the coast of an island here. Palm trees. Quietly, you just wonder what these people are thinking inside their houses like this, and they see a giant battle wagon like New Mexico coming around. I didn't like some of the ranges for the USA battleships. That's another fair point. Another very fair point. I forget what the range is on that. I think I'm like 14 or 15. With all I've got here, I think I'm at 16.1. According to the map. 16.1, that's not terrible. You're not hitting 20 kilometers, obviously, but depending on the style that you play, it might be okay. If you're a long-range sniper, yeah, New Mexico's not your style. Colorado's probably not even your style. Tier 8 is not the Massachusetts, right? It's
Enemy force detected.
South Dakota? No, it's in North Carolina. North Carolina is tier 8. Iowa's tier 9. Montana's tier 10. And of course, there's a whole other branch there too. And I get it, man. It's tough trying to do battles when you don't have the speed or the firepower, and that's something to be aware of. Wow, that was a nice hit. Just did a. So when you see this little ribbon on the black ribbon on the side there that I just got, because I shot and fired and hit the ship, I hit what's called the Citadel. The Citadel is the armored portion of the ship that is really critical to the ship's functioning. It's where your ship's power plants are. It's where your machinery is. It's where your propulsion is. All the important stuff is there, basically. If you hit the Citadel with your shells and get through all the armor and get to that Citadel, you're doing a lot of damage. So that's the goal, really, is if you can hit that Citadel, you're in good, How's this one? It's probably not going to be a Citadel, but 14-inch guns do a lot of damage, though. Excuse me. So one of the things I do like about the Bismarck, in other words, the meat and potatoes of the ship, exactly, Foxfire, it is the meat and potatoes of the ship. If you can hit the Citadel, you're in good. We've got a destroyer here coming in. Let's try and... and he's already dead. That's fine. So you can see I'm trying to crank along at a, plodding along at 21.4. I'll probably get to 22.4 knots, maybe. It's not a fast ship, right? Compared to the Bismarck, it's downright slow. And that's the whole thing about the tiers, for people who are not familiar with this. the tiering of these ships makes a difference. Like, you're not going to have a tier 4 ship do very well against a tier 10 ship, you know? This one looks like he's going to eat one torpedo, maybe? So another thing, tactically speaking, when you face off against some of these ships, especially when, when it's a battleship, but also cruisers as well. Just trying to line up a shot here. There we go.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
When you're facing off against a ship in battle, it's a good idea to try and keep your bow on or stern on if you can, especially if you're going against a ship, like a battleship versus a battleship. For a destroyer or cruiser like this shooting against me, I'm not so worried about. What I am worried about is the torpedoes, right?
Torpedoes astern.
You can see right now my friend's about to eat a bunch of them.
Torpedoes astern.
The reason why you want to keep your bow or stern pointed on against an enemy battleship, like battleship versus battleship like this, it's the shells, the way they hit your armor, right? So if you think about it, if I've got a plate of armor like this, right, if a shell shoots directly through it, it's going at a 90-degree perpendicular, right? It's only got to travel the distance of the thickness of the plate, right? However, if I now am facing the enemy and the shot comes in this way, well, now that shot has to get through a lot more armor because it's now traveling the distance of, this diagonal here through the armor plate. And it can cause that shell to either bounce off, or if it has to go through the armor, it has to go through a lot more armor, which means it most likely will not penetrate. That's why you see the good players are the ones who always face their ships in, right? Saldra, some battleship and cruisers have torpedoes. Yes, they absolutely do. And some cruisers do not, which is, that's the funny thing too. Sometimes when you have a cruiser, you think, oh, I got a cruiser, I got torpedoes, I'll be fine. A lot of the U.S. cruisers don't. Cleveland's a prime example of it, I think. Baltimore, a lot of the other cruisers. It all depends on the nation and like how that ship was designed. One battleship that does have torpedoes is this one. This may look familiar. This is Bismarck's sister ship, Tirpitz. Tirpitz was fitted with torpedoes. Bismarck was supposed to have torpedoes, but they took them off prior to her sailing out. So in the game here, you can use Tirpitz's torpedoes as a nice, good close-range weapon. Which is great when you're doing those close-in battles and you just want to throw them out there. Japanese have, I believe, there was a Japanese ship that has it. I think it's the Key. I don't have that one. In terms of battleships, I don't remember any other ones that do. Gneisenau, I think? Yes, Gneisenau has torpedoes. Scharnhorst, I believe. Yep, Scharnhorst has torpedoes, which is a sister ship. Yep, Odin has them. Yep, and Tirpitz Black, I have that. So by the way, these black ones here are ships you can purchase using doubloons, which is the currency you can use, when you pay cash and buy that currency in game. You can use the doubloons to purchase ships, purchase other things that are good to help you play the game. There was a huge sale going on a couple of years back, and they had all of these black ships on sale. Now, the black ships, I don't believe there are any differences between, say, this ship and the Tirpitz that I have, right? It's just the paint scheme that they adorn to this is just this nice styled black look to it, and I like the look of it, believe it or not. I actually like, it's like a almost like a sports team type of look. If you look at it, like if the battleship could have a jersey as part of a sports team or something like that, this would be kind of what it looks like. So I kind of dig that. So let's go in with, I think, well, I want to show Colorado, so we'll do that one first. Oh, you have no camo. You poor ship. Let's give you some camo. What we got here? I got a bunch here. Let's see if I can pick one. What do we feel like? We can do black. Make it look kind of black. Stripey. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those. Let's do something crazy here. Let's go with something we got a lot of here. Yeah, maybe this one. Could go to the old Stars and Stripes. Make it look British. Who knows? Stormwind. That's not even bad. Well, I got a bunch of these victory salutes. We'll use these. Okay, and for the signals, we definitely want the speed flag on this one, and I'll tell you why. The max speed on this without the flag is 21 knots. Like I was saying before, that is abysmally slow at this tier. To compare, right, and I'm going to put this back on before I forget, to compare, a tier 7 German battleship, Gneisenau, okay, without the flag's not turned on here, her max speed is 32 knots. That's 11 knots faster. It's like a third of the speed, just faster than Colorado. So you're faster, you're more maneuverable, you have torpedoes, which the Colorado doesn't. The only thing the Colorado really has going for it might be the armor protection and the fact that it's got 16-inch guns versus Gneisenau's 15-inch guns. Gneisenau only has the, I believe it's the 2x3, so it's the 6 guns on the Gneisenau at 16-inch, right? Hit points, she's got 58,200. Colorado's 59,300, so that's kind of a wash. But again, 16-inch guns. Yeah, so for me, I totally get. Is that what she said? LOL. Yeah. So yeah, I can see why people get frustrated with the Colorado because it is tough to grind through. And that's the thing I keep talking about with this game. It is a grind sometimes to get through some of these tech trees. But when you look at the tech tree for the US, right, Colorado is that critical one you get to. Once you get past that, now you're looking at other ships. Now you're looking at Kansas, which maneuverability, I can't tell what that means here. I don't have it, but oh, good. Here we go. So we can look at the maneuverability here. 23 knots. It's not so fast. It's a little faster than Colorado. It still has the 16-inch guns. That's great, but it's still pretty slow, and you're not getting torpedoes and stuff. North Carolina, well, if you take a look at that maneuverability, now you've got close to a fast battleship. Its max speed's close to 28 knots. Against 32 knots, yeah, you're still slower, but at least you're able to manage it somewhat. You're still not dictating the battle, but you've got the 16-inch guns that you can throw down range and still do something, right? You're still maneuverable enough to do something with it. Nebraska, now she goes 30 knots, right? And she also has aircraft, so I've never messed with this one. I'm curious to see what this looks like. This looks like, yeah, it's an abomination of a ship. I say that because this ship's never been built, okay? This was never a real ship. This is a paper design, as they call it, and a lot of the ships in this game are what's called paper designs. So, they weren't actually built. They were just designs that people had on drawing boards and stuff, and this is the visualization of that. So this is a combination of a battleship and an aircraft carrier, which, if you think about it, that's not a great combination. The reason why is because the aircraft have a much greater range than your artillery. So if you're doing this right and you're using the aircraft to your best ability, your guns will never see action, right? Similarly, if you are trying to use your artillery instead, your guns, now you're trying to also do that and manage your aircraft at a closer range, but you're also endangering it because you probably don't have as much survivability, as much armor as your mates might have. So I can tell you right now, 62,000 hit points for the Nebraska is less than the Bismarck, at least the one that I've had fully upgraded. So yeah, it's an interesting design, and I bet people are playing it and probably having fun with it, which is the ultimate thing here. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, out of the three, I like the North Carolina because again, you get a faster battleship with 16-inch guns. It can hold its own against most tier 8s and tier 9s out there, and it'll give you a fight against a tier 10. So you take a North Carolina against a Yamato, I'm okay with that. You know, you could theoretically do it. You could take him out single-handed, because you have those 16-inch super heavy shells. It works, you know. Then when you go to the Iowa, that's another game changer because the Iowa is a super duper battleship. Basically, it can go toe to toe with a tier 10, in my opinion. So for the grind, yeah, the tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, these are tough. Tier 6 I enjoyed personally. Tier 7's tough, but once you get to tier 8, now you're into good stuff. Now you can look at North Carolina, Iowa, Montana. Montana's a great ship in my opinion. Yeah, you just have more options. I mean, you could still look at the older, slower ones like the standards here. Minnesota, 23 knots. Yeah, these are slower ones, but they have a lot more survivability, I believe, too. Anyway, let's go and do Colorado so you can see what I'm talking about with some of these ships. We'll make this the last co-op battle, and then I'll go into some other things. By the way, if anybody wants to send me a friend request in game, please do. I'm totally down with that. Again, I can't promise you I'm going to play this game all that often, but if you reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to try this or I'd like to see this on the stream, happy to do it for you all. All right, so we've got 10 seconds here. What are we looking at for battleships? We got the Roma, Vladivostok, Colorado, King George V. Okay, so right away that King George V is a tier 7, but I know it's faster than me. So that's going to be one of those things that's going to be a little bit tricky to try and work with. Alright, so we're going to try and move in towards Area A, which is straight ahead of us. Let the old battle wagon try to cruise out there, slowly moving.
Awaiting instructions.
So for anyone who is not familiar with the game, the icons down at the bottom of the screen indicate as follows. So the left-hand side is my shell type. I'm currently on high explosive. I like to go with armor piercing. There is a reload time, of course, for your shells, especially if you've just fired. The one in the middle, it looks like a canister with wings. That is like a one-off type bombing run that you can send out that's in close range. It's like the equivalent of sending off your scouting or spotting aircraft and just letting them drop a bomb on something, or dropping depth charges, as you will, to drop depth charges against a submarine, right?
Enemy force detected.
The one that looks like two brownish orange canisters and a wrench, that's your repair party. Those are handy. You can use that when you're on fire and you need to put the fires out quickly. You just hit the R key and it will instantly repair and shoot all fires out. You'll still be damaged, of course, but you least have the fire damage to be put away. So that is the Algerie cruiser, and I probably shot right behind you. Yeah, I gotta lead that thing a lot more than that. Let's worry about this destroyer first. Now my secondary still haven't kicked in at 9 kilometers. Now he's dead. So now we're looking at the Vladivostok, which is probably going faster than I can go. I'll lead you out here. And I'm going to turn towards the battleship in case he's firing at me. So I can again increase my survivability. Look at my shot here, and a little damage, nothing great. And now I have to try and fight to get into the battle. So this is the complaint about the U.S. ships that I see the most of, is it takes so long for me to get into the battle and then engage and stay at long ranges like this, you know. If I'm trying to chase down this Vladivostok, I'm not going to do it because my ship is just too slow. And it isn't a factor so much in a map like this, in a battle like this, because it's just bots. Who cares, right? But in a real, like, player versus player match, this is a problem, because if your ship can't catch the other ships, then they can do things like just run away and capture areas on you, and you really are powerless to do it, especially if they're hiding, you know?
Our team has taken the lead.
Come on, Colorado. At least give me a citadel or something. Ugh, that's a lame one. Another pen. You do want to lead your shots, and the further away you are, the more you want to lead a fast-moving ship like this one. And my advice to anyone who's trying to do this and trying to get it right, a couple things. Number one, the scale that you use on your display here, you can customize that, I believe. This person's going to crash into that ship. There we go. And look at that. One, and I didn't do much damage. There you go. But when you're firing, longer range, and you're trying to figure out like how to time it and how to lead, it's really a combination of picking the right HUD layout for your zoom when you fire, right? Because I hit the shift key, zoom in, and I shoot. That little measurement stick that you see there, that can be customized, and you can pick the layout that you want and get comfortable with it. And then it's just a matter of kind of playing and practicing with it. Like, as you're pretty far away, how much would you normally lead it by? Watching your shot fall and trying to follow up and say, okay, now that I know, next time I play this game, I'm going to lead a little further or a little less so that my shots are more accurate. And it's called getting good, but it works. So let's see. So we kind of saw the downside to the Colorado. Let's try and go do something else here. First thing I want to do is open some containers. Now, containers, these are things that you get if you play the game a certain number of times. So as you play, you earn credits and you earn experience. And if you earn enough experience, as you can see by this here, I've earned this much experience today. After 2,000, you get a container. After 12,500 of the day, you earn another container. And lastly, 37,000. So I've had a few of these things sitting around, so I'm just going to open them. And they give you things like coal and some other little, ship XP and elite commander XP. This is all useful stuff. These are resources you can use within the game. Coal is useful for buying other ships. Ship XP is a common one you can use, so you can use this to boost up how much ship XP you're getting to make your grind go a little bit faster, And your elite commander XP, I believe you can turn that into other XP that you put on other commanders to make them level up quicker too. So let's go ahead and go through these. Oh, we got 24 hours of premium account. Wonderful. 3 XP, that's good. And some signals for Julia Charlie. These are useful because if somebody, it's possible for you to detonate or have a detonation if somebody hits your citadel the right way and blows up your, ship's magazine, which is where all your ammunition is stored. In a match like that, usually it's a cruiser or a destroyer that has that happen to them. It's not often done on a battleship, but having this flag eliminates that risk entirely, which is good in some matchups. What else? What else we got here? Oh, what is this? Another 24 hours of premium. Okay. Free XP and more Julia Charlies. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, goody. We got 50,000 credits. We have a white camouflage. We have a New Year's Sky camouflage. So now we'll collect the container. Now, when you collect a container for the day, you can pick what you want more of. So if you pick like more economic rewards, right, that's going to be more credits coming your way. If you want more signals to build up your signal arsenal, you can do that. I like going try your luck because if you get that super container, sometimes you can get a free ship out of the deal, which is pretty cool. And what did we get? We got regular container. This is not a super container. Now we got some coal. Alright, that's cool. 900 coal. Great. So what you can do with that is you can go to the armory and you can take those resources and turn them into something. So if, for example, I go to, let's start with ships, right? So these are the ships you can purchase for these resources, like coal, for example. If I click on coal, if I had enough coal, I could purchase some of these ships. For example, I think there's some lower tier ones I can get, like Duke of York is within my range. I have 139,000 coal. Lazo, October Revoluция, Rio de Janeiro, Bliskowica. This is actually a pretty cool destroyer. This one has been used for a lot of PvP battles that I remember, a lot of ranked battles. It's a cool little ship, Polish ship, and so on. So you basically can purchase things with coal. You can use doubloons to purchase ships if you have a particular favorite type of ship. For example, before Bismarck came out and was available, I liked Bismarck obviously, but it wasn't available in game. Tirpitz, however, was. So that was my big purchase that I started this game off with way back when. And I had played like 8 months already into the game, I think, before I actually went and purchased Tirpitz. And roughly speaking, it cost me about $50 at the time. When you look at the exchange rate, for example, let's pick a ship like, well, we'll pick Key for now because I think Key is one of those ones that's an interesting one. It's a tier 8 battleship. It's got torpedoes, and it's 13,200 doubloons, right? I've only got 456, so I can't purchase it. So you can go to, look to get 13,000 doubloons, right? Well, if I'm purchasing 12,500 doubloons right off, a stock purchase like this, it's $49.50, right? So, yeah, it's pricey. It's a model of supporting a game that I've always been skeptical of, but it really works, Another game that does a lot of this exactly the same, and when I say exactly, I mean like it's a similar scheme, but different artifacts, basically. MechWarrior Online is a good example of this. They have sold in the past, and I haven't played that game in a long time either, but they have sold specific mechs in the past where you purchase them for $50, $60, $70, $80, $100, right? and you get a bunch of stuff to go with that mech. Maybe you get some, weapons or different camouflages or paint schemes or something. They try and bundle it so you get all this stuff together, to make it worth your while. Um, Coming from my standpoint, where I grew up, and you know, when we purchased games, going all the way back to the Ataris, up to the Commodores, and through, even to PC games here. War Thunder, yes, War Thunder does the same thing exactly. It's a model that's been out there for a number of years now, where you can purchase certain things in the game, and they try their best not to make it play to win, or pay to win, I should say. Meaning, if I spend $50 on a ship like this, suddenly I'm great and I'm the best player out there. That's definitely a bad model, right? You don't want people paying to win like this. Um, you do want them to get some value out of their purchase, but you don't want to make the game unfair to everybody else. So that's a very fine line that these companies like War Thunder, MechWarrior Online, World of Warships, these games have to tread, right? And it stinks to me. And the reason why I say it stinks is because it's a tough line to tread. Sometimes you don't get it right. And going based on my history, it used to be that you would pay $50 and get a top-notch AAA game, and you still do that to some extent. That's the memory I have of purchasing games. Is you spend a good chunk of money to buy a game. Um, the latest EA game, Jedi Survivor, right? You could purchase that for $60 and have a great game to play. Probably, you're not probably not chucking a ton of money at some other things to get better at the game or to customize the game. Though I may be misstating things there a little bit. It's possible they may have payables within that game as well. It's just a strange model to me because when I purchase the game, I want to be able to get the full game, and that's it. I'm not chucking more money at the game unless I really, really, really want to, you know. So this model is interesting because you're not paying anything to play. You're free to play, but if you want these cool ships, well, fork over some cash or do something else. Now it is possible in this game to get doubloons without paying for them. I mean, you can get them from containers. You can get them from events sometimes, but you're not getting them in the amounts that you need. So, you know, Tier 9 Marco Polo, 19,300 doubloons. If you grind and grind and grind for a couple months, I think you might get 200 to 400 doubloons if you're lucky, from containers or from other grinding events, right? So grinding to get doubloons is not the way to go. These are meant to be purchased, right? You can earn things like coal and steel, though, to help you get some of these other ships. So that's something that, again, you can do the grind on, and it might work for you. More credits per battle, if credit, income is an issue, you can do this. I'm trying to think, was Turpits in this list? Turpits used to be one of those credit enhancing ones as well. Anhalt, never even seen this ship. Brandenburg, Constellation, where's Turpits? Not here, no. Alabama, no. Not seeing it. Belfast 43, Prinzeugen. Yeah, so that's what you can do basically with the coal and steel and the doubloons. You can also purchase other things too, like specific commanders. Like these are historic commanders that we're looking at, like Kuznetsov, Cunningham, Oboino, Swirsky, and De Ruyter. I mean, we're going way back now. What else? You've got some of the spokesperson Dasha. They have commanders of all different types here. Like some of them are from Azure Lane, which is another game that you can play that's uses these same historical ships, but now it's these anime girls that fight instead of the ships themselves. Um, Others are like Santa Claus variants from different countries or something like that, you know. So you can have all these different commanders, and they don't really give you much. They give you 10 skill points to work with out of a total of I think 19. So, but making sure your commander has the right skills for your ship is a critical factor in playing your ships here. So. Containers, of course, you can purchase containers. You can do customizations, like if you want to purchase like specific enhanced upgrades, economic bonuses, your upgrades, your signals, your camouflages, right? I kind of dig this one a little bit. Made of steel. This one's like a pure white almost, but it's probably a steel look to it. These are insignias you can collect. These are good for like player versus player stuff for your clan and so on. So they have other little knickknacks and stuff, collectibles, specific types of camouflages. Like for example, North Carolina, they have this cool looking octopus thing on the front of your ship, and it turns it all black and gold. That actually looks kind of cool to me, but it requires community tokens, which you earn during certain events. So again, grind some more. It's tough because they have to be able to make the money somehow, right? If they're a free-to-play game, they have to have a way to make money to stay in business. So you have to give them the ability to sell things like this. I come at it from two different angles, I think. On the one hand, I can understand the need to do this, so I can see myself throwing some money. Like I said, I have. I've put money into turpits. I've actually put money in to buy these black versions of these ships, like Massachusetts and I think Scharnhorst and I think Otago. I think I have in here too. So I have paid money to this game, and it supported their efforts. On the other hand, I can relate to the times when I've been poorer than poor, broker than broke, and it's like I don't have any money to throw at this game, but I'm grateful that I can play it. So I'll do the grind, and I'll just continue to work the grind and try and build up what I can, and maybe feel a little jealous about the players who can throw money at this and not worry about it. So yeah, I can see it from both angles. One other thing here that they have is called the Dockyard, and they have this every so often. And it basically is a special ship that you actually get to see get built from the keel on up. Okay, they give you these, or they try to sell you on these starter packs, which allows you to get through certain shipbuilding phases, and you have to pay real money, doubloons, to go ahead and do it. I've never been a fan of this. So for me, I always try to grind as much as I can if I was really interested in the ship. I think I got Pommern or Odin, one of the two, was a ship that was like this. It was in the dockyard. You start from the keel and you build it up from there. And you can't really see the phases, I don't think. You can't go ahead of time here, but what happens is as you go from phase to phase, and you unlock each phase, right, by doing the missions, you get that phase unlocked, and you actually get to see your ship be built to the next phase. So the next phase might unlock the athwart ship bulkhead. So now you see little things come out of the keel. You'll see it grow a little bit more. You see it build a little bit more. It's, to me, I like the dockyard in the sense that I love seeing the ship get built. I wish every ship in the game could be done like this, where you see it get built from the ground up, you know? To me, I just love it. The detail, again, and seeing everything get built around this ship and all the stuff that goes into building a ship. You kind of see it here. You can imagine it, you know? seeing it get launched off the slipway and go in and get fully built up eventually, you know? It's a cool sight. What I don't like about the Dockyard is obviously the starter packs and the fact that it's such a grind to get your ship all the way up there. They do give you a lot of time. Like, I've got 70 days, so I've got until October 30th if I really wanted to. I'll be honest, I don't care about this ship. It's Tier 10 Lucian. It's a destroyer. Not my class, not my favorite. So I'm probably not going to take part in this. A battleship, maybe a German battleship or a US battleship or something. Yeah, probably a lot more interested. So, alright. We're going to go into another type of play now called, instead of co-op, we're going to move into operations. Now, operations requires a specific tier. It goes from tier 6 to tier 8, and you can use destroyers, cruisers, battleships, or aircraft carriers. Now, me being, of course, a battleship fan, I'm obviously going to pick a battleship. The question is, which one do I pick? So what I think I'm going to do is, let's try, what's a good one to try here? I've got a lot of German ones I can throw at it. Let's do the Massachusetts Black, I guess. We'll go ahead and bring this one out. Oh no, you know what? Turpits. We'll do Turpits. Reason why? Torpedoes. We'll go ahead and see if we get a chance to fire some torpedoes in this. So operations is different because instead of just going, you know, blasting the other ships to smithereens and trying to capture areas, now you actually have a task or multiple tasks to do. It's a mission, you know. You could be escorting transport ships. You could be taking out transport ships. You could be assaulting a base. You could be defending a base. And it's been a while since I've seen what operations they put in there recently, so I'm curious to see what's out there. I like this style because it changes the gameplay. It's not just a blind shoot 'em up type thing. Now you actually have to think about what you're doing. You have to make your ship last, and it's more challenging than your simple, you know, shoot 'em up type stuff. Show my ship. Here we go. So we can look at them like that. So we've got the Atlantico. Interesting South American ship. All right. So we've got our task force. Which I love to do this, by the way. I love zooming in on another person's ship just to see what they got for camouflage and flags and stuff. Sometimes you see really cool paint schemes on ships. You're like, oh man, that's awesome. So we have another Turpitz Black out there. That's pretty cool.
And retrieve the transport ships.
Oh, I didn't bring my Turpitz Black. I chose the Turpitz. Okay, that's cool.
Awaiting instructions. Roger.
Alright, so they've captured our transport ships. We have to attack the enemy convoy and take back the Allied ships. So we want to follow everybody.
Enemy detected.
Enemy force detected.
There is somebody.
That's
Probably gonna hit the cliff. Maybe. Yeah, one of them hit the cliff side. Yep, we went over 10. That's good. So what you see here, these little circular lines in the smoke, that is a smoke screen that your destroyers are putting up right now. And it can be useful if you want to hide your ship, especially if you need to repair, prevents other ships from shooting at you. This is the Ryoko, which is a cruiser pistol. And it's out. So we don't want to hit our ships if we can help it. I'm going to slow all the way down here. And this is where, a battle like this is where your secondaries can really do very well. So, again, Turpitz usually has secondaries out to level 10. So it's good to just kind of let those secondaries do its thing, you know. So you let your broadside of your ship and do whatever it can, just shoot. And I tend to focus on the destroyers first. My cruisers, my gunnery can usually delete enemy cruisers pretty quick. fire on board here. I could hit the repair party, but I'm gonna let, since it's only one fire, I'm gonna let that burn out, and I will instead let I'm gonna let that fire burn out, and then I'll use my to repair my ship. Alright, so now I go ahead and use that. That's the boot suit.
The ship is on fire.
Where'd you come from? A bunch of ships over here. I'm in not a good position. That was a terrible shot, too. So I'm in a bad position because I'm perpendicular to the enemy and they're shooting at me, which is no good. Not bueno. So I'm about parking in here.
Attention. Transport ships and tanks. Destroy the escorting ships. Attention. This is Task Force Commander. I'm up against huge enemy forces.
Stop. I'm gonna
Requesting
try
support.
and
Roger. Aircraft proceeding to assist.
I'm gonna try and hide behind this island here a little bit. So that way I don't get shot at as much, and I'm trying to prepare myself a little bit. Yeah, they are moving pretty quick. I'm gonna have to lead my shots a little better than that. Some healing. Vehicle's coming up really quick here, so what I want to do is I'm going to try and get the torpedo off. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and target this guy. There's my torpedo spread right there. Looks like my comrades are going to get him against me, so I'm going to leave that alone. That one's almost dead. Okay. So we're alright. Healed up a little bit, took that damage, and now we get to do some damage here. We got the secondaries here. Setting ships on fire is a nice thing to do if you can do it, especially if you got a ship that's capable of doing a lot. Those fires will add hit points on the enemy ship. They'll also eat at your ship too if you have fire. So there's that. Just
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
So now we're gonna bring our customer here. we gotta get these ships out of the zone.
Attention. Clarifying the order. Cover the retreat of our transport ships.
She, Senshi, and Kusatsu. Do any of these ships repair me? Probably don't, do they? Sometimes in the operations missions, you can do some of the transport ships or the convoy ships. Sometimes they can repair you, like they'll have a giant circle around them, and if you get your ship within that zone, it simulates the automatic repair. So I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to be able to throw my torpedoes around here. We have the Nagato class coming, which is tier 7. We should be able to take these guys out. We got an Amagi, which is tier 8. I think I want to focus on him. So when it says escort them out of the zone, we're basically taking them east. There's a little anchor on my mini map over there.
Fire on the
We need
designated
to go
target.
and focus on. So I'm gonna go. Let's see if we can take him out. One over penetration is the turn. Well, they are trying to shoot at me though, so that's a problem. Bring our guns to bear and see if we can take out this.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
Leading too much here. Oh, there's some cruisers over here too. Fun.
Enemy battleship sighted.
So what I'm trying to do again is get in range of my secondaries, let them do some damage, and use my main gun to hit the battleship if I can. Although him pointed in towards me like this, it's tough for me to hit him like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to high explosive rounds and just try and shield him away from him. Now with these rounds, they aren't going to do the citadels as much, but we have a greater chance of lighting that ship on fire, which will hopefully decrease his hit pool faster. Right in there. Let's try and get rid of some of these cruisers to help out a little bit. We're on fire. So I just use my repair party on that because I don't want to waste what we call our healing potion. So I don't want to waste that. Let's try something here. Let's try you.
Problem solved, sir.
Throw torpedoes at this guy. He's a little bit out of range there. We're going to try and see if he reaches the range fast enough. Alright, so we set that one on fire. So the Amagi's we're gonna switch over to APB shelter now. Those torpedoes are not gonna hit. Maybe one. So we did all the escorting stuff. Now we're just kind of pushing back. Sweet. Run, Forrest, run! Cool. Let's go look at the team score. I didn't do very much there. I did get 2 ship kills. I got C-Star. What is C-Star? I wonder. Must be the operation completed or something. Detailed report. You can see where I did my damage. Mostly on that Miyoko and another one over here. I spread the damage out quite a bit, and that's largely due to my secondaries. I did over 100,000, almost 100,000 damage total. For anyone who's playing at home, my personal metric to determine whether or not I did well in a battle, whether it's PvP, whether it's fighting against bots, doing an operation, if your damage caused is greater than the hit points of your ship, then you did all right, even if you didn't win the battle. Okay, that means you pulled your weight, in my opinion. Now I know the Tirpitz is around 69, 72,000 hit points total, and I did 99,000, so I feel good about this one. Damage received 66,000, which, if you think about the hit points on that ship, I almost ran out of hit points basically. If it wasn't for the healing that I did of my own ship, I probably would have gotten it sunk at one point. So, all right, we can see what credits and XP we gained. So we gained, with the premium account, you actually gain more credits. That's one of the nice things they try to get you, because it's basically paying money to get this premium account, but the value is you get more credits per battle, more XP per battle, and so on. So because I got those 24 hours free from the containers, I've got the premium account now. So 256,000 credits. We've got some free XP and some ship XP. Commander XP's in there as well. So all in all, a good day. Dig it. Okay, we have another container to open. Let's see what we get out of this one. Let's try our luck. Let's see what we get. So we got signal flags. Okay. So these signal flags increase the chances of flooding or causing fire. Pretty cool. Alright, didn't get a chance to do torpedoes, unfortunately. Let's try... Let's switch to Tirpitz Black. We'll try battling again. If it's the same battle, well, we'll deal with that. I'm hoping the operations change up a little bit, but maybe they don't. It used to be that for periods of time you would get a specific type of operation, like you could only play Aegis, or you could only play another type of operation that was like an assault or something. Honestly, I hope they would just unlock them all, because they are fun to play, even if they are random. What do we got here? Mission, yeah, it's the same one. So it's the same mission. Now we've got 3 battleships. We got a Vanguard, and we have the Constellation class. Constellation maneuverability is actually more maneuverable than me. Interesting. All right. Let's race into this one. Okay.
Attention! This is Task Force Commander. Our transport ships have been captured. Attack the enemy and retrieve the transport ships. Awaiting instructions. Roger. Searching for enemy convoy.
So I don't want to run into this Vanguard that's coming right up on me here.
Stand by for action. Enemy approaching from the north.
Our friend over here is in a destroyer.
Enemy detected.
The Sims.
Enemy force sighted on the
Probably
horizon.
try and take out the force to the northwest
That's the
here.
enemy Vanguard. Destroy them. Enemy ships detected in the northwest.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
those are bread and butter. You can get Citadel hits. That makes your day so much easier.
The ship
You're
is on
doing
fire.
13,000 damage most of the times. I'm about to hit the island.
Problem solved,
so
sir.
Let's try
The
and
ship is on fire.
I'm gonna try and circle out of this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Let's try. I have problems because I have two fires on board, so we need to get some cover. Let's try and get it out of here.
Torpedoes to port.
Torpedoes, we're gonna stay away from those. We're gonna shoot at these guys behind us. Try and get them off somebody's boat.
Enemy cruiser detected. Torpedoes to port.
Wow, close. Throwing torpedoes here is foolish. I don't think it's going to work well for us here. So I'm going to try and focus on these guys instead.
Warship sighted.
Close one.
We've sunk an enemy
Wow, we sunk
destroyer.
two.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Those secondary battles, man. Those secondary fights. Secondary batteries, I mean. We did lose a battleship, which stinks, but not much we can do about that. We need to get out of here as fast as we can.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
Shallows. Destroyer out there. We have destroyers here.
Attention! This is Task Force Commander. I'm up against huge enemy forces. Stand support. Roger. Aircraft proceeding to
And we
assist.
lost a cruiser. Here, get our hit points up. Still not an option. Let's try and throw it here. Let's see if we get lucky. Throw that guy.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
I don't expect those torpedoes to hit me. You never know. Since there's no limit on ammunition here, you just throw the stuff out there and you just hope for the best. Yeah, we just missed it. So a couple of the tactics to point out to people. There is a dashed line, if you can see it in my little map screen on the bottom right. There's a dashed circle that goes around where my ship is. That's my detection range. So what that means is, if a ship, an enemy ship, is within that circle to me, they will detect me. They'll be able to see me and shoot at me. Now, that circle changes as you fire. Now watch if you can see this. If I try to shoot at this Nagato over here, now all of a sudden that circle expands out to the max range, 21.5. So what that indicates is, as you fire, you're giving away your position so others can shoot you. I'm about to hit a transport ship. Just get away from it. Oh, that's a fun. We've lost 2 ships so far. Here we go. You're going to charge against this thing. I will let that destroyer try and take out those 2 Nagatos for now. Okay.
The ship is on fire.
I hit hard there. That's not good. Too hard. Let's do the last repair. Try and get somebody.
Enemy heavy
Just set it
advantage.
up and
Problem
take it.
solved, sir.
Oh, we're getting hit hard. Time to turn.
The ship is on fire.
And we're on fire again. That's great. We're gonna try. Oh, we lost our torpedoes. Good. We may not be long for this world.
Confirmed penetration.
Oh, I can't repair. Can't do anything. This is a problem. Right, my teammate here. This is not good. Sorry. And we are sunk. So one cool thing I do like about this game is that you can, even if you're sunk, you can still observe the battle. So if I hit the shift key, you can move your camera around, you can see how your teammates are doing, you see how the enemy ships are taking fire, you know. Cinematically speaking, it's really cool. So we managed to win the operation. Not as clean as the last one, but we still get credit. Okay. So let's go ahead and change this up a little more. This time we're going to do a random battle. We will do... I want to use the torpedoes on turrets, but I would like to change up the ships that we're using a little bit. not a fan of doing that one. Do UK. Towards the Monarch. Oh no, we're not gonna do that. Let's work on King George V. So there's our ship. Let's see. What kind of signals do we want to throw on this thing? So when it comes to random PvP battles, hey, no problem, Foxfire. Take it easy, man. Thanks for joining the stream tonight. Really appreciate it. When it comes to random PvP battles, I don't try to go all in and throw all my flags on there. Some guys like to do that, where they're like, oh, I'm going to put all my flags on there. I'm going to put the best camo on there, best everything. Random PvP battles like this, you basically are trying to go on a real battle, so it's like against real people. You do gain more XP if you can do well. The question is, can you do well? So let's, I don't want to waste those. I only got 13 of those. I guess I could purchase more. Let's do, it doesn't really matter for these. That looks cool. Go to the signals. I do want to put the anti-fire ones on, which are... So these are good to extinguish the fires. I don't have a good secondary range on this ship anyways. Speed's always good. Reload time is good. That's going to be handy too, because you want HP restored, the repair party. Okay. We have spotting aircraft, which is fine. Alright, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and change it to a random battle. And then we'll go into ranked battles to kind of wrap up the night, I think. Now, I'm not a huge fan of random battles, honestly, and one of the reasons why is the community. I've been in battles where the toxicity of the players that are involved in that battle is just so bad. People used to get so angry. I don't know if it's still the case or not, but man, just the venom that would come out of players, like, "Oh, you stink, uninstall the game, blah blah blah." You know, it's a game, guys. Just chill. You know, that's not what this is all about. So the teams are bigger than the battles versus the AI. They do try and keep the tiers together, so we're in tier 6 through tier 8 at this point. Me being tier 7 right in the middle, that's cool. In terms of the people I gotta face, Nelson, Turpitz is the highest ranked one, so that's the one I'm gonna be watching out for. I do like the speed advantage on the Nelson and the Nagato and the Colorado, so if I can take advantage of that and use the speed of my ship, then I should be in good enough shape to, stay quick and stay alive longer, and hopefully do some damage against the enemy. Again, our hit points is 60,500. That's the type of damage I'm looking to put out. So here we go with those main guns.
Awaiting instructions.
Cruised along. Here we go. We've got our team with us. For people who are not familiar with the tactics when it comes to PvP in this game, work with your teammates, try and communicate if you can. Just kind of go with the flow, Don't leave your mates out stranded. Don't try and solo rush things. Just stay in the battle as long as you can,
Thank you.
So what's happening here is the lead destroyer here, the Mahan there, Hunter 4936. He's laying down a smoke screen, and the destroyer and the cruiser are hiding in it right now, so
Enemy force
all the
detected.
enemy can see is the smoke screen.
Support
They
that
can't
target.
see anything else beyond that. So my job as the battleship, I'm not going to hide in the smoke screen. I'm going to try and draw things out a little bit so that I can hopefully take the fire away from my teammates and put it on me because I'm a little bit more durable.
Enemy destroyer sighted. Enemy cruiser detected.
Just throw that.
Enemy
All
severely
right,
damaged.
two
Bullseye.
citadels on that cruiser. That feels good. Great start. All right. See if we can keep that up. What we have? Captain. Interesting. He's turning away. It looks like we have a destroyer that's trying to get us here. Did a hit on that one. That's good. So they're all coming after me now. So I'm going to try and draw their fire away. They are doing
Torpedoes
some
to
damage.
port.
Oh, there's the torpedoes. Look at that.
The ship is on fire. Torpedoes
Oh, and
astern.
they just ran out in time. That's too bad. So I'm already taking enough damage here. I want to get away from this. And I'm running against the border of the map right now, so I got to be very careful. The border just simply causes your ship to not go anywhere,
Torpedoes to port.
which is terrible.
Torpedoes astern.
Alright, so I'm hit by a sonar ping, which means the submarine is looking at me now. So what I'm looking to do is try and get away from this. So I'm not firing my weapons here if I can help it. Again, because I want to lower my detection range. So now that the enemy submarine can't come after me, so that's good. Because I'm angled against this Nagato, he's not going to do as much damage on me that I would want, so that's good. So we've denied the enemy area D, but they have A and C right now, which is a problem. However, they have lost a ship, which is good. So we're just trying to stay alive and do more damage. Just be smart about this, not play stupid here. I can use my spotter to help me a little bit, but I don't want to keep that yet. I've already lost a lot of units. I am currently not detected, which is good. So if I keep it this way, I can wait 22 more seconds, get my healing going, and then heal up, and then come at the battle again. I see there's a Nelson in Area C along with a Congress, so I can go after both of those once I'm ready. This is about, trying to play as smart as you can, not trying to be a brave guy and kill everything. Now this Nagato is trying to back out, so let's see. Maybe finish him off, probably not. Who knows? It does spoil my detection, but that's okay. Alright. Yeah, they ricocheted. But the Nagato is down now. So the Nelson is broadside to me right now. It's hard to not take that shot. Whenever you see a battleship and you're a battleship, and you've got another one that's broadside to you, it's hard not to take that shot because it increases your chance of getting a citadel or 3 penetrations like that. Of course, now I'm broadside to him, so that could be a problem. Although he's looking at this angle, not me. He's just out of my range right now. So
The enemy team has taken the lead.
there's a cruiser here. Let's see if we can delete
Enemy submarine spotted.
the submarine. What are we gonna do with that? I couldn't kill that cruiser. So submarine. just gonna try a blind shot here and see if we missed where it was. Shady Flirt, hey, thanks for the follow, my friend. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing all right tonight, my friend. And here we go. So it's 4 ships lost each side. We are down on points, so we do need to capture them. So I need to get back into this battle before I get called out for being a chicken or something. So we are moving in. There's a mass of ships to the west of us here, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and help our Bismarck friend out. Let's see what we can do to help. I can't see him, but I think our friend, yeah, the destroyer's going to try and take out that sub.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Where's that cruiser at?
Enemy submarine spotted.
There's another sub over here. That cruiser might be able to do something to him, I don't know. He's too close, I can't really shoot at him.
Enemy destroyer detected.
I don't think I can use this far enough away. We can try. Let's try and get close enough to that cruiser there. Yeah, missed him. Yeah, he turned away.
Awaiting instructions.
So I'm in a bit of a bind here because the Tirpitz is to the left of me here, and if they get me at the wrong angle, I'm screwed. So I want to try and protect my angle on that side. Let's see if I can help my friend here. Don't crash into him. Nope, I missed him. Not doing enough damage here. This stinks. I'm gonna have to turn around eventually. Get away from the Tirpitz. I really don't want to face off on him solo. I could do alright with him, or I could wind up getting damage to them. So we're gonna try and do a hard turn. And kill that cruiser. Jeez.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Alright. Cut hard this way.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Here comes the secondary fire from Tirpitz. Yeah, he's gonna hit the broadside. I gotta watch out. Full speed ahead here. Again, just trying to play smart, not sinking myself, not playing into the enemy's hands here. So, unfortunately, I don't have much option for this. I'm trying to get a kill here, maybe. Get lucky. Got him. So that helps. That's one less ship. We actually have numbers advantage. And even if you only have a few hit points left, numbers make the difference. So there's a smoke screen here. We're gonna try and take advantage of that. We're gonna try and sink this guy. Heck, I'll throw shells at him if I can. I've never been good at trying to sink a submarine with these things. Never been. Oh, I got one apparently. Caused flooding. That's good. So who knows? Maybe I did alright with that.
Awaiting instructions.
Got the wrong shell type for the destroyers, but let's see what we can do. Just do any damage at this point is the benefit.
on fire.
Clear that out of fire. Let's do some
The
healing.
enemy team has taken the lead.
Alright. Run around this island, see what we can do here. Ship count is even. We're still losing out points, which is bad. They have 2 destroyers, we only have a sub.
Problem solved,
Now
sir.
we're down a ship, so this doesn't look good for us. So we just try and do our best. Still haven't done enough damage, but there's still time, so we'll see what we can do. Can't really hit the turrets of the island. Bismarck is running, and that's a smart move for him. He's got him angled away from the turrets, which is what you want to do. So it's really just a matter now of trying to sink some destroyers, I think. We're going to switch our ammo real quick to show you, see if we can focus on these destroyers. They are detected somehow. Ah, there's the destroyer for it. Lost him. Let's send out our spotter.
Enemy submarine in sight.
Oh, that's great. Get him.
Airborne.
Got a lot of torps coming our way, but I think we're gonna outrun them.
Torpedoes to port.
Alright, so we took care of their sub. Let's see if we can take care of
Torpedoes to
this
port.
destroyer and make their lives If we get a hit on that destroyer, that's gonna make the game a lot easier for us.
Torpedoes to port.
Nope, not there yet. Let's keep trying. Stay
Torpedoes to
visible.
port.
They're hard to hit because they do move fast. And we have one coming right at us. We have to watch out for that guy. And we lost our sub. It was a tough battle. Oh, it took a big hit there. That was from the Colorado. I'm gonna try and confuse that man destroyer again. Not fire at it. Let's see if we can confuse
Spotter
this
returning
over
to
there
ship.
now. I'm gonna try
Let's
and
give them a hard time.
keep him out of the battle. Oh boy, we're in trouble now. So we're gonna try and do some damage here. Keep that big man at bay. I don't want him throwing torpedoes at me, so I'm just gonna try and get away from him now. We're gonna lose this battle. I mean, we're way down on points. I'd have to sink one of these battleships fast. And we're the last best hope. That's great. Not good. Oh well. It happens. This is what happens.
The enemy is about to win.
Yeah, I know. There's not much I can do.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
The ship is on fire.
Nick really is trying to kill the ship and do something. Not
Main
gonna
turret
happen.
critically damaged. Torpedoes to starboard.
Blast the crap out of me, I think. Get rid of the fire at least. So there's the defeat. Oh well. Hey, we were the last ship standing. Let's see what we got for achievement. Dreadnought. Receive damage amounting to at least 120% of your ship's base HP from 4 or more enemies and survive the battle. Nice. I like getting the Dreadnought one because that's an indicator that you were a good battleship. You took damage and you survived and you held out, you know. judging by our team score, yeah, it was middle of the pack. Our Bismarck could have done a little better. You don't like seeing him ranked this low, even though he did get a kill. He probably didn't have as much damage as me. What else? Yeah, the Helena went out really quick. Cruisers usually get deleted quick, unfortunately. Detailed report, did alright. Like I said, I wanted to get more than that, but we did okay. We're okay with that. One of the reasons why I like playing Bismarck and Tirpitz is because of that secondary battery. As you saw in this battle, there were many times where I was within range of 11k of the enemy ships. My secondary battery wasn't doing a thing because it just doesn't have the range. With ships like Bismarck and Tirpitz, I think Yamato, there's just so much range on the secondary battery, you don't even have to think about it. You just, hey, go shoot. They'll go and do the fighting. They'll get those little points of damage on the other ships, you know. That's what I enjoy the most about it, you know. Alright, back to port. So I think what we're going to try and do is maybe a couple ranked battles. Alright, and then what do I need here? I need tier 8, so let's go with Bismarck. Now, it's been a long time since I've done ranked battles, and I gave up on doing it in the past because it was quite grindy. The system, the way it works with ranked battles is you have to, at least it used to be, you have to try and win to keep advancing and gaining stars. Now, that's completely different now. I did manage, when they had a ranked season, I think it was actually tier 7 at the time, instead of tier 8, because I remember getting this, I got rank 1 in ranked battles way back when. I was in the Gneisenau and I got my final battle done, and I won it. The only reason why I wanted to do it was to get the Jolly Roger flag, which I have on this ship, or at least I did have on this ship.
Capture that area.
I don't know why Jolly Roger isn't on there anymore to fix that. The Jolly Roger is that black skull and crossbones flag you see on pirate ships, and you got that as a reward for rank 1.
Let's give them a hard time.
I like that. I enjoyed doing that.
Awaiting instructions.
Getting that rank 1 at the time. After that, I didn't really have enough motivation to try and grind through ranks to get rank 1 again. Because it is a grind, ranked battles. At least it was anyways. I don't know if it's still the same. Since Tirpitz is going that way, I'm going to go with my colleagues over here and see if we can do some good stuff. Let's go shoot that guy down. Shot me at least. When I say ranked battles is a grind, it's true because, at least it was true, because if you played enough, ultimately the great players would rank out sooner than the not so great players, right? They would win in general. And those players, once they finished out of the ranks, left the rest of us players, the good players, the average players, the poor players, all in the left, they're still waiting to win, to fight. So by process of attrition, your great players probably rank out first, then your good players rank out next, and then so on. And the way the system worked is you would gain a star if you won, you would lose a star if you lost, you could gain, I think, 2 stars if you were the top-ranked player on your team during a win, and so on. That's great. I'm just trying to see what the battle really is here. I'm kind of lost a little bit. So I know we got a Tirpitz, an Otago, and a Lufthansa. Now my secondary range is going to help with that destroyer. So that's what my destroyer is probably banking on a little bit. We are detected, so it means either an aircraft or sonar's hit me. There is our target. Let our secondaries do the job here. He's gonna try and get out of range. Keep him out of the circle. Wait for Turpitz to show his face. There's Otago. Definitely want you. He's turning away, so I'm trying to fire the shot to get him on the turn. This is a big problem because those
Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes, direct front.
Nope, we're gonna run out. Good. So torpedoes have a specific range depending on the ship, so you have to be careful and watch out for that. So as a battleship, you want to make yourself unpredictable. You know, change your steering, change the way you steer, make sudden turns if you can, change your speed a little bit. You know, just shake things up a little bit so you make the torpedo course unpredictable. Because all they can do is fire in a straight line. They're not homing torpedoes. My job in this battle is to try and do what damage I can. Secondary fire to the destroyer like this, and then try and delete that cruiser.
Torpedoes astern.
Just do whatever I can here to knock out the ship. So you see, also don't let it hit islands. Okay, so stay away from those. My secondaries are definitely doing the job against that destroyer. That's good. Hard steer here. That Otago's fire. There we go. So, problem we've got right now is we're losing the battle. So we have to do a way to figure out a way to sink somebody. Destroyer friend took off. The Otago and the Turpins are still out there, though. I wonder if we can find them. Send out the fighter.
Attention, support that target.
There's somebody. My shooting is not what it used to be. Probably because I have not played forever, but trying to hit hits here. There we go. That's a little bit. There's our Turpitz friend. Let's get him. He's hiding behind an island. What a silly play. Go ahead and hide behind that island. That's cool. I'll keep throwing secondary fire at this. Because I know what you can do. Hiding behind islands like that, that's like a cruiser play. It seems silly to me to try that, you know? Oh, so we lost a ship, we lost a battleship. That's a problem.
Fighter
So we need to
returning
go
to
around
ship.
and figure out something to do here. Get that Otago deleted something. We can get a shot on him. I want to stay within range of my friends here and try and help them out. Cherbourg is in trouble. We have the Oland here to help us. I don't know if our friend here is in trouble. He looks like he's covered. We're protecting B, but not getting anywhere with it. We have to find a way to take a circle here. I don't want to try and go after C and be a hero because there's a battleship and a cruiser there. This battleship here, though. Take a shot on Turpitz from 14 kilometers out and see if we can hit us. Can't really citadel him, but do some damage there, which is good. So I'm going to try and go for A, make a charge in there, and see if Oland's going to help me or not. Probably not, because it looks like he's coming this way. It looks like our carrier's trying to help out. I can't reach the Zeton in time to help Sherwood, most likely. So I'm gonna see what I can do against this Atago. Slow down her speed a bit and see if we can take him out. He turned just as I was shooting. I still got a hit on the overhead. Secondaries is what we count on. Left, use the secondaries. Those are very fire, it's right side.
The enemy is about to win.
It's about down.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
The ship is on fire.
Oh, we're in trouble now. Serious trouble now because we lost 2 ships. We have not taken that Atago out. There we go. We don't know where Fantastic is. Torpedo. That was fantastic. We know he's coming around. He's going to send some torpedoes, most likely. This Turpis has torpedoes, so that's a problem.
Problem solved, sir.
Now I've got torpedo bombers to worry about too. So fighters are the best. I don't want to just force that like hell. Yeah, that was a well-placed shot there.
Way below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
Yeah, to get there, we can do. We're doing our best, but sometimes you can't pull it off.
Torpedoes to port.
Yep, that's the short. Torpedoes out now. The best I can do is just throw a lot at them. It's the best. Oh, I just escaped his torpedoes. You got me. Well, rather than wait around for that, let's exit the battle. Let's switch over. Let's use let's go Turpin's Black. He doesn't have a lot of points. We'll use Rolf here on the Turpins. That was embarrassing. I was hoping we would win at least one ranked battle like this, so we'll see if we can do better. Alright, so we've got no destroyers this time. That's an interesting matchup here.
General
Let's
quarters.
see. The Vladivostok Constellation. So it's all battleships and cruisers here.
Acknowledged.
Wichita's gonna go after B. Looks like we're all going A.
Awaiting instructions.
I don't want to crash into my teammate here, so I'm trying to be judicious. Turns.
Enemy force detected.
They are all going A, it looks like. is to get close enough to be able to use torpedoes. Not that it's a great thing or anything, but it's an additional benefit for this ship. It does what the Bismarck can do, except it has torpedoes, basically. Good job with our combat air patrol, our aircraft carrier. Bismarck's coming. Keep our speed up. Keep flying here and keep working with it. So Cleveland's going after C. Baltimore's cutting the middle. Bismarck's following up at C. Wichita's going to grab the B and probably bolt out of there. Don't push too wide, they say. Okay, makes sense. Slashes with nothing so far. Slow down, throw off a little bit. Start getting some air, see if we can bomb the crap out of these guys. That's it. Speed up a little bit. And what we got here? So we're slowly moving in on A. Bismarck in range at the moment. Bismarck's going behind, leaving his friend here in North Carolina available. Let's see what they do. North Carolina does have a citadel that I can hit, whereas Bismarck is very difficult to hit a citadel. It's firing back at me now, so we'll try and turn away from that. And that's where speed matters. Like I said, varying your speed and your course, you can
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
change the way people fire at you. You can force them to miss their first shot because they expect you to be at speed, so they attack you at that range and speed like that. Baltimore's hiding. It's fine. Go ahead and this part. About to get looks like.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Get him. Speed down. Let's see if we can get closer. Ideally, if I can get around this island and get close enough, I might be able to hit these guys. He hit me pretty hard with those 16-inch guns, so I'm going to repair. Now I get to return fire and hit him with my secondaries. Now the Bismarck is on a better angle. Our Constellation friends are so we're going to try and do this. Cluster. Citadel. High on the Citadel. Looks like we got the first kill here too. That's good. focus away. And there goes our friend. So we've only got one ship advantage. They've only got a cruiser and a battleship, and I'm looking pretty good. I like my chances here. I'm going to try and push towards B. Vladivostok's already way ahead of me there, so he's got a good position to do something. So my goal is to try and do as much damage as I can and hurt these guys and let my teammates help us out. Left. So mitigate some of the shells coming in. Nice. That's a good chunk out of them. So I'm going to focus on the Bismarck right now. Let's see if I can do enough. Okay, good. Vladivostok took out the Cleveland. So now my focus is just on the Bismarck, and hopefully our friends here cause the Hornet to pursue, to flee away while we're trying to grapple with the victory.
All forces, capture that area.
Push in towards Bismarck and try and torp it. Again, using my armor to my advantage. He's either going to go broadside, runs at me, he's in trouble. Worst case, he gets me and we collide. We'll take that trade-off anytime. Because we have the numbers advantage.
The ship is on fire.
So I'm trying to push in towards him. Have repair party available. Just want to keep trying to push some of that. He's going to need a torpedo here. Nice with my torpedoes. He's gone. Okay, we're gonna get a win out of this. Good. So now the only thing left is the Hornet. Fine. Keep shooting these guys down.
Problem solved, sir.
Try and help out with this. Throw the obligatory GG out there. Alright, we're still not out of this though. We still want to cap if we can. Because they still have 2 circles on us. And there's the Hornet. Let's see if we can go after it. We don't have a spotter aircraft. We can try and move within range. As long as they stay detected, we have a shot at them. I'm going to switch to high explosive. We're going to go on a straight line here. We're just going to try and cut things off a little bit. Try and get close to the Hornet and destroy him while we're going after C. So either way, we're covered. So it's not going to hit, but we'll try it.
Our victory is in sight.
Now we're looking good. Yeah, we got a hit on him. That's good. Right now, what we're just trying to do is start some fires on board that thing, do some damage. Since it's detected, we should be able to keep it that way. Keep it as we can. He's running up against the border. Just play it or whatever. just makes them slightly harder to hit, but we're going to win this anyways. Not a lot of damage, but we're doing our damage here. Almost 80,000 for the game, which is great, you know.
Aircraft carrier detected.
Fighter. We seem to have lost our spotter somehow. Maybe Lexington lost him. Doesn't matter, we're gonna win this game anyways. Doesn't matter. We got last shot at him. Okay. Let's see where we are with the ranking now. Alright. Rank increased. Beautiful. Session ends in 5 hours. Okay. You know what? Let's go one more. Go one more and then we'll call it a night. We have a sub this time and a destroyer, 2 destroyers. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting one. There's no easy kills here. Those destroyers are tough, so we have to be able to find them and shoot at them with our secondaries while staying out of range. So I'm going to go where the pack goes here. Follow my destroyer friends.
General quarters.
And hopefully they're good enough to be able to play in a coordinated effort. So let's see what happens. We have Cossack moving to port. Looks like he's going to try and cover B. I think that's what we should do. Oh, they took the Bismarck. Paint job.
Awaiting instructions.
Last battle. I have that paint job. I don't like it, but I have it. I'm gonna run towards B.
Good luck, everyone.
Push the speed up. I'm gonna follow my friend here.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Take B and then hope for the best. I'm hoping that one of my friends here will be able to take C without too much effort. So that's the Brandenburg. A lot of this also depends on how good your carrier is. If your carrier player is better than R2 here, so we're outnumbered already between A and B. Throw my shells at you.
The ship is on fire.
Nice, throwing fire. Back out.
Enemy aircraft carrier sighted.
What I am just trying to do is stay close to my destroyer friend here and cover him with my secondaries. Alright, so they have a 3-on-3 over there. We have our 3-on-2 here. Lightning is out there. Just can't see him. There he is. So we gotta get over there as fast as we can to try and shoot that destroyer. Switch guns here. Now with main guns on a destroyer, anything hits, I'm happy. It's all the secondary that I want to do here. That's the key. So right now I got the secondaries looking at them. That's helping me. We don't have detection because they are very hard to spot. If I get a shot, you never know. He's throwing smoke screen down. My torpedoes only have a range of 6 kilometers, so I can't reach them. But if we're doing our best here and holding them off, then we might be alright. I'm going to try and loop behind the split. Go in the smoke screen and try and come out the other side and take that lightning out if I can.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Boy. Okay. I thought that was from the carrier, but it's back. It was actually just from the destroyer trying to turn range.
The ship is on fire.
Alright. Hit there, no big deal. Here we go with toxicity. 5 minutes in, already lost. You guys suck. Yeah, that's helpful, dude. Really freaking helpful. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't play this game is because of the toxicity. It's not good, you know? It's not healthy. I don't know where that destroyer is, so I'm gonna take a chance. Ah, there you go. I'm not really worried about him. I'm gonna try and sneak up behind these guys. Max speed and take A. Even though we're 2 ships down, they're damaged as well, so we might, that U-190 coming into range now, it's possible we just might be able to get a sinking just like that. So they took out a destroyer right there. I'm sorry, a battleship. Out. Thanks to that detection range there. I'm gonna miss, but at least I'm keeping them honest.
Enemy submarine spotted.
Nice. So he took the sub and the destroyer and they cancel out. So we're still down a ship, but not so bad now. And we're gonna take A. There's a problem. Torpedoes coming in. We gotta turn hard.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Take a hit there. Alright with that. Now keep it hard to the right. He's a good carrier player. He knows how to fire torpedoes. We have to stay on top of him. We have to stay in the circle if we can try and get a cap.
battlewagons. Proceed to capture that area.
Oh, what's the command for that?
Problem solved, sir.
I have no idea.
Nice work.
There we go. So now we're gonna get the heck out of here. Try and take down that Amagi. At the same time, try and get away from the carrier. It's just me and the carrier. It's a huge problem. So the enemy carrier is good. I'm hoping that my carrier is going to do the same thing with the cap over here. He's not helping me much. So I have to kind of do it on my own here a bit. Dodge off one. So this is kind of crappy.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes astern.
Repel air attack.
Good job, dude. Alright, so at least we have a destroyer in hand now. Let's see if we can do something with him. We haven't done much damage, but we have been helpful. We've been providing cover and stuff.
Torpedoes
so,
to port.
and we're about to die.
Torpedoes to port.
We're about to die. Nothing we can do.
Torpedoes astern.
Okay. I'm not going to stick around for that because I have a feeling it's going to get more toxic. Plus, I didn't do that much damage, so I know he's going to come blame me. I'm not interested in that. Oh look, a different container. Look at that. We have a shipbuilding phase. Cool. So we can do these things. Like the container. No, don't do that yet. Open the container complete. What's this thing? Okay. Let's open another container. And more of this. Great. Like a container. Try our luck. Okay. Campaigns. What campaigns do we have? We haven't really been doing a lot of campaigns. I gave up on this a long time ago. Yeah, whatever with that. Let's look at the ship. I think we got a phase out of the way. Let's check it out. Aha! So now we are starting to assemble the double bottom, and this is the thing I think is cool about the shipbuilding, is that you can see these little pieces going on there, and your ship is just starting to improve now. Now it's starting to look like it's coming along, like they're actually building something. It's still far away from being a ship, but at least now you can see something out of it, you know? And if I'm not mistaken, the bow is going to be over on this side, down here. Because usually they send the ships in stern first into the water, and I believe this is going to be the stern, which is a very interesting stern. Very long, narrow tail there. Curious to see how that's going to shake out. So we'll collect our reward. Oh, we got some bonus containers. Sweet. Alright, so we've got part of a ship there. Now again, I'm not really interested in building this thing. I'd have to be convinced to do it. which is fine. I'm not really interested in the grind doing that stuff. Not doing naval battles, battle pass. We're getting farther on this. I don't even know what battle pass is. It looks like it's free versus premium and stuff you can get for doing stuff. Missions, right? That's the thing with World of Warships. They give you these missions that you have to try and complete, which they'll list them out for you here. And you try and accomplish them. You know, earn 300 base XP. Yep, did that. Win battles and earn 1300 base XP. And they tell you what ships you can use, what battle types you can use, and so on. And if you complete those, then you get these rewards here. So, me, I'm like, again, I'm not interested in doing the grind anymore. I have so many other things I need to do that this just doesn't interest me anymore, you know? There was a time where I was really, really interested in this game, and I was really into it, and I was, really wanted to get all the stuff, to collect everything. But after the grind and after some of the events that they've done over the years, it just kind of soured me. So, like, okay, I'm fine. Collectors Club member. Interesting. I have no idea. I've got these patches here. I don't even use them. Patch Architect. Yeah, I guess I'll keep this one for my 7 years of service. Unique. Collector Shield. Can't do background though. They're making it better to make these patches. I remember when they were just very basic. I'm gonna dig this a little bit. They're really taking it a step further with some of these things, which is pretty neat. Give them credit for that. These are all these things you can put on the patches and stuff. And the emblems, the only ones I've really collected are the German ones. I've done some experience on the US ones, but again, not really interested in the grind. The emblems are neat because you can, use these as your emblem that shows up. I've got Kriegsmarine 2, 3. I feel like the patch better, honestly. This one with trim on this one. I like that the best. Give it texture, save that. Alright, that's cool. Alright, so, that's World of Warships for you. Again, it's a cool game. I dig it. It's just grindy. I just don't want it to be grindy, honestly. So, this is the type of game I'll play with some friends if they want to play it, and we'll just kind of, okay, let's just have some fun. I'm not interested in doing this thing every day anymore. Other people are, and that's cool. That's totally, again, it's the way you want to play the game. It's not how I play it and how everyone else should play it, you know? So, I had fun playing tonight, and I'm hoping that I get to do this again with some friends to be able to, enjoy this and laugh about some battles and stuff like that. Because you can make some cool battles and memorable battles and stuff to really share some of those memories that you had, those good times with your friends. So that's going to do it for me tonight, 21st Century Jedi. I hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Hope you're able to beat those Sunday blues. I want to give a special shout out to Shady Flirt, thank you so much for the follow tonight, my friend. I hope everybody is doing great. Um, I would say reach out to me on Twitter, but really, I'd rather have everybody start reaching out to me on Discord because I'm going to get off of Twitter eventually. And keep in touch. Don't be a stranger. I don't bite. Happy to talk to people. Happy to help out whoever I can help out. Take care of yourselves. Special shout out to men tonight. And I only say this because let me get off this audio here and just focus on this. I want a quick shout out to all the men out there. And I say this, it could be that you're female or your gender is different. It's cool. I want to say this to the men types because typically there's a stigma out there that men can't share their feelings, they can't talk about what's bothering them, and they keep it all inside. If you're not a man and that applies to you, then by all means listen, please. Don't do it. Don't don't bottle it all up inside you. Find a healthy way to release whatever it is that's eating away at you. Um, I read a story on social media. I think it was today about a young individual, a young man in his 30s who committed suicide, leaving his three kids behind. He was a single dad, um, and he was trying to make a life for himself. He just did. He was in a spot where the income wasn't coming in. He was trying to get a loan, and it wasn't coming, and he was desperate. He didn't have but a dollar or a few dollars to his name, and so he gave up and he chose suicide. And it's easy to say, well, okay, you should live for your kids. You should always live for your kids, blah blah blah. When you're depressed and those voices in your head are telling you stuff, it's really hard to ignore. Okay. Um, I've been in a similar situation as that individual. I remember a time when I had less than a dollar to my name, and my oldest daughter at the time wanted a Happy Meal, and I couldn't give it to her. I was driving home with her, and we were going from the hospital where my other daughter was at, and my wife was staying with her. I had my oldest daughter. I was driving home. She wanted a Happy Meal, simple little pleasure, and I couldn't give it to her. I had not enough money to do it. So I got into a really dark place that night, and I don't want to go into further details, but um, I I was right at that edge, right at the cliff edge, at the precipice, looking over the edge, and somehow I was able to pull back through, saying something about it. I did say something about it, and my family was able to convince me to step away from that ledge and get, you know, try and work my way out of that. And I'm glad because now I'm here and able to do these streams with you. But there are so many other people out there, again, men, typically because we hide our feelings inside, but it could be anybody. Um, I know what it's like to be in that dark place where you don't have money, and you're struggling. I get that, man, and I know what it's like, and I don't want to see people struggle. So, um, just my advice to anyone who is struggling, whether it's financially or just emotionally or mentally or whatever, don't give up and don't feel like you're at the end because you're not. There's still more out there for you. You can still turn the corner. You can still beat whatever it is that you need to get through. Okay. Um, it's not over, so don't give up. Uh, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, just use, if you're thinking about suicide, use the number 988. Call or text or go to the website. Better to do that and then go through whatever it is you got to go through with that than to just take your life away and cause this world to lose a little bit more of its light. Okay, because that's what you are. You are a part of the light of the world. Don't ever think you aren't. Okay, I uh, I don't want to see other people get into that dark situation because of money and um, take their own lives because of it. Because you still have so much more to offer, and that's why I try to be, as generous as I can be, when I'm out and about. I don't believe in hoarding money. Um, I believe in saving money, obviously for your future, yes, but um, I'm not the type of person that's going to hoard my own money anymore. I'd rather be generous with it to whatever extent I can. Obviously, I'm not going to go and shill it out, for everyone who's begging for money. Obviously, it's people are who they are. They can still scam you and stuff. But I am when I see the opportunity to help, I want to help. So that's what my philosophy is in life, and I hope others are out there that are willing to do that because there's so many people out there that could use the help. Anyway, not to drag this down and end on a negative note. Keep up your chin. Keep keep on keeping on. Basically, I'm going to talk to you all Wednesday. We will probably do. I'm thinking we're going to do StarCraft 2 on Wednesday. I've got a couple friends who I'm hoping will be able to join me, and we'll be able to do a nice, rowdy, fun play session. If we can't do StarCraft 2 for some reason, we'll either try and do Diablo 2 Resurrected. We'll just pick up where I left off from the previous one and just keep moving forward with that, or maybe we'll do a Commodore game. But StarCraft 2 and Diablo 2 are kind of on my radar right now, so we'll hit those. Anyway, 21st Century Jedi, take care of yourselves out there. I am signing off.